Now here's a story about this honey named Renee that I met one day on my way back from John Jay's. Man, you already know what it is. Jay Williams, let's live life, and we're back. I'm off. I'm not at work. Where they do that at? So let me go ahead and tell y'all why we're here today. Y'all seen the thumbnail. I know y'all seen the thumbnail. It was like, oh, come on, man. I like peanut butter. Don't mess peanut butter up for me. What did y'all do with the peanut butter? Please don't. Calm down, Kimosabe. Today we are doing 10 ways to make money while locked up. 10 ways you can put some guapos in your pocket. 10 ways you can get by. 10 different ways you can hustle up something to stop the stomach rumbling. To put some soap on that rag when you need to. You get it. That's what we're doing today. Right after this intro, I'm going to get into a little update on what's going on. Y'all need to hear this, man. It's a beautiful, beautiful message. But that's what we're doing now. In no particular order, 10 ways you can make money while locked up. Don't get locked up. Stay out here, work a job. People complain, man, I ain't working for $9 an hour. You go to prison and work for 27 cents an hour, 35 cents an hour, 45 cents an hour. But you got a problem with working out here. And guys in there would be happy with $2 an hour. But they don't get that option. Stay out here where you can work a real job and you don't have to do any of the things I'm talking about in today's videos. It's a sad, sad world. A lot of you aren't going to listen. A lot of you are going to end up applying these 10 ways to make money to your life. Because sadly enough, people are going to continue to get locked up. There's no shortage in beds. There's no shortages in cells. There's no shortages in prison. They're like Motel 6, and they will leave a light on for you. 10 ways to make money while locked up. You know how to see it. You know how to live it. So let's relive it. So one of the things I looked forward to the most with going on vacation was just spending time with my family. Spending time with my kids. Being there in the morning to feed them breakfast, watch TV, story time, all that. As a father or as the provider of a household, it goes for women too that, you know, take care of the households. We miss out on a lot of our kids' lives. While the mom is at home or the kid is at daycare or whatever the situation may be, we are at work to make sure they have what they need, to make sure they live their best life, they're provided for. Therefore, they grow up really, really fast when you're not there every single day. Not there because you don't want to be, not there because you're doing your job as a parent. My main goal in the vacation was to spend more time with my kids, and that's what I've been doing. You can learn a lot from a child. They say you can learn a lot if you'll just listen sometimes. Don't be so quick to think you know everything. Listen to what somebody else has to say, even a child. We're watching TV the other night, and prior to this, we went to Walmart. And I get my son these little NECA action figures. And he got these 2 Gremlins. It was a double pack. We get home, and he's like, we were supposed to go to the movie theaters that night. He said, I want to see Gremlins. I said, man, we can't see Gremlins in movies, man. They got the Minions. I named off the movies. No, Daddy, I want to see the Gremlins in movies. I said, son, we can't see Gremlins in movie theaters. That movie, I think, was 1984. That was 38 years ago. You know what he told me? We can if you want to. I said, of course I want to, but we can't see it in theaters. He said, well, maybe you can make it. How can I show this little boy Gremlins in theaters? Something he wants to see. So my son wanted to see Gremlins in theaters. It's hard to explain to a 4-year-old that a movie that old can't be seen in theaters. So I made it happen. Never let anyone tell you you can't do something. Gremlins. Love y'all, man. Salute. We made it happen, man. Sometimes you have to be your child's hero. Listen to your kids. Think outside the box. We already went to Walmart and got these little guys, which started the whole thing. So then we took a trip back to Walmart. Popcorn, candy, sodas, the projector screen, Came back, hooked the laptop up to it, ran the cables, hooked up the speakers, did everything the way we should. And I built a memory with him that he'll never forget. A lesson that he will pass on to his kids. A lesson that not only he taught me, that I think he'll carry throughout life. Don't ever limit yourself in what you think you can do. I learned that from a 4-year-old who will turn 5 next week. With all that being said, I'm living my best life. Water Country, USA, Busch Gardens, the beach. We got some other things coming up here in the next few days. But for me, all that really matters is I get to spend time with the ones I love the most. Let's get into today's stories. Now, before we get started, let me make this very, very clear. I do not condone getting locked up or illegal activity. Keep your stupid tail out of here. Don't become a story. Don't have to apply this to your list. But here we go, in no particular order. The Hold Down Man. By now, if you watch prison-related videos, the prison genre, if you watch this type of content, we've all heard about the Hold Down Man. Who is the Hold Down Man? We here in Virginia and also in Philly, we used to just call them flunkies. A flunky, or AKA a Hold Down Man, is somebody you're gonna befriend or make think that you like. You're gonna push up on this person and just start small talk, engage, push up on them. Hey, what's up, man? What's your name? Kick it with them. You might pull them off to the side with it. Hey, you smoke? Come here real quick. Slide off with me. Smoke something with them real quick. Joke with them. Talk with them. You're going to act like, this is the sad truth, like you care about that person. Like y'all are friends. Like y'all are cool. And then it's going to come the time, hey, man, I need a favor from you. You always need a favor. I need a favor from you. I got you, man. By now, this dude thinks you're his friend. You've used him. And you're about to use him way more than ever. I got you, man. What's up? What you need, bro? You're looking out for him now. So he feels some type of obligation. You know, I got all this stuff going on. And the police is looking at me. You know, I'm paranoid. I can't afford to get too off. They don't know nothing about you. You fly below the radar. Me, I'm a hot boy. I'm going to look out for you. I just need you to, here, hold all this. This man might be holding weapons. He might be holding phones, tobacco, drugs, wine, all the things you don't want to get caught with. You're going to get your flunky. You're going to get your hold down man to hold. And what are you going to do? Some guys will just smoke a little with them here and there. Break them off some food items, or they'll make a meal and give them a little bit. Make them feel wanted, like they are part of the clique. When in reality, he's just a flunky. When in reality, you're using that man. You got all this stuff that you ain't willing to get caught with. Because you know the consequences of getting caught with that stuff. If it's drugs, you're going back to court. You're going back in front of your honor. The same guy that when you were in court, you swore to keep the peace, uphold the law, never get in trouble again for a period of such amount of time. It is really, really bad if you have to go back in that courtroom, not only after being sent to prison, but back in that courtroom because you've caught new charges in prison. So now you've got violation time, meaning he's going to start taxing on time that he didn't give you from your original charge. If you had 40 years and he suspended 30 and left you with 10 like they did me, I had 40 with 30 suspended, you've got that 30 years over your head. He's going to take a chunk of that, pow, break that off, and you go take that. There's another 5 piece on your violation. Now, let's get to what you got caught with. Oh, yeah. They get on their little calculator, start adding it up. Damn. You're doing a whole rack of time. So what you do is you find somebody else that you really don't care about, that you have no real ties to, and you get him to hold this stuff for next to nothing. I've seen guys tell guys, hey, you hold this, and every now and then I'll come through and I'll smoke a cigarette with you. Or hold this stuff. Later on, we're going to roll up, and I'm going to let you hit it a couple times. And this dude thinks he's cool. He thinks these are his friends, not knowing he's being conned by a con. He is the hold down man. He's got everything in his cell that guy don't want in his cell. No, no, no. I ain't about to have that up in my cell. But that man will get paid as well. Sometimes guys will have an agreement. Every week I'm going to give you this much commissary. Every time you hold something, I'm going to break this little piece off and I'm going to give it to you. That is the way the guys make money. They try to be quiet, flow beneath the radar, and hold something for the next man. And it always ends bad. At the moment that they come up in there and they catch you with those knives, those cell phones, them drugs, whatever it is that other guy or guys or organization has you holding, you know what they're going to do? Look off like, man, that's crazy. At the same time, the heart's going to be beating out their chest. Is he going to hold water? Is he going to tell on me? Damn, I just lost all my stuff. You need to understand this also. Being the hold down man is a very dangerous line of work if that's what you're going to choose to do while in prison. You may be holding something for somebody else get wind of it and come try to take it from you. You may get in a position where the guards run down on you and you have to flush it. Or, let's say you just get caught with it. No matter what happens, you owe. So you just got all this stuff taken from you that you would never, ever be able to afford. If you could afford it, you wouldn't be holding it for somebody else. You'd probably have somebody else holding your stuff. But at the moment that it gets taken from you, you've got to worry about going back to court. You've got to worry about getting more time. You've got to worry about getting transferred. You've got to worry about sitting in the hole. You've got to worry about every move you had to make on the yard now being dead. But on top of all that, you've got to worry about the person that stuff belonged to. Because when it gets taken, he didn't take a loss. You took a loss. And you're going to figure out a way to make it right. So it went from y'all being friends, you doing him a favor, you making a little money by holding something, to now your life is in jeopardy. Now your freedom is in jeopardy. All in the name of trying to get your hustle on. All because you were the hold down man. You were the flunky. The kitchen job. Dun, dun, dun. I worked in the kitchen when I first started out. For me, it wasn't about the money. It was about getting out of the cell. It was about getting out of the building. It was about getting away from all these morons I'm surrounded by all day. You go over in the kitchen, there's only sometimes up to 8 to 10 people, actual inmates, that work in the kitchen. Then there's a guard that stands in there, and then there's a kitchen supervisor, which is usually a heavy set woman. They don't usually put pretty women in that position. No offense to the women that work in prisons, just my observation. Nobody takes the kitchen job because it pays great money. Let's face it, you make pennies. They take the kitchen job for the hustle. Now everybody's gonna say this. I thought the food is terrible. What would you be able to hustle out of a kitchen if all the food is bad? The food is bad. The food is supposed to be bad. It's punishment. You're not supposed to be eating McDonald's. You're not supposed to be eating ribeyes and steak. That's the shit you get if you don't break the law. Yes, the food is bad. But there are certain things that are high commodity. Certain things we get that guys want more of. But you're only going to get what's put on that tray. With being a kitchen worker, you get the benefit of, at times, if they send enough, it's like a buffet. All you can eat. All the meat rock you want. All the goulash you want. All this terrible food. Oh man, I get more? Thank you. But there are certain things that, like I said, guys want. Eggs. They used to send over thousands and thousands of eggs uncracked. And we would stand there, if you worked the grill, crack eggs, and fry them on what's called a flat top, the grill top. All morning. We get there at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. This guy's job is to crack eggs And he is, from the time he gets there to about 7 o'clock, even after that, guys are coming to eat and he's steadily frying eggs. This big flat top will cook somewhere around 20, 25 eggs at once. He's frying eggs. Eggs are a big source of protein. So for us guys that work out, them raw eggs, we drink them. No, you don't. Yes, we do. You take a glove, a latex glove that you put on your hand, because all kitchen workers are required to wear gloves when working in the kitchen. You can't just dig a boogie out your nose and then grab somebody's food. At all point in time, you're supposed to have gloves on if you're handling food, unless you're working in the tray room where you wash trays and cups and sporks. You're going to be required to wear gloves. You're cracking eggs when nobody's looking. You're dumping them in that glove. You're filling up 5 eggs, 50 cents an egg, $2.50. This thing's about this big around after it's tied. You got to get that back to the building. You've usually got contracts. I had contracts with guys when I was a kitchen worker. I had contracts with guys when I wasn't a kitchen worker that I would buy eggs from. You could cook an egg in a microwave. Do you know that? You can take an egg, throw it in a bowl, scramble it really good, put it in the microwave, it'll fluff up, and then you got to scramble it some more and it'll fluff up. Not the greatest, but it works. The main point having them was for the workout. Then there's other things I've talked about that guys want more of. Hot dogs, big thing. Chicken, pancakes, sausage, pork patties. But by far, one of the biggest sellers that come up out the chow hall, peanut butter. Who would ever think of peanut butter? They send over these big pans, these big stainless steel metal pans full of peanut butter. Then they send over hundreds of loaves of bread. And you stand there and you make peanut butter sandwiches. Or some trays, if you have a special diet, they get a scoop of peanut butter on their tray. Guys would know in advance. There's a menu on the bulletin board of what we eat for the week. They would know when peanut butter is coming. You would go ahead and set up contracts with guys for peanut butter. Now, you can order Keefy peanut butter. It's a yellow top off the commissary. Like $2, $3. But you holler at me. Mr. Steals a lot out the chow hall. I'm going to take a bread bag. Put a lot of peanut butter in a bread bag. You double this bag up so it don't bust. And you could take that bag back. You're charging $1 a jar. You've put enough peanut butter in this bag to fill up 10 jars. If you could send 4 of these out the chow hall and back to the building, you've made $40. Now, the way the smuggling, and they know this, miss me with you're giving the game. The game is to be sold, not told. They know this. The way the smuggling with the chow hall works, hear me out now. You got a guy that works in the tray room. The tray room, you sit down, you eat your food. When you're done, you walk up to this brick wall. There is a hole in the brick wall. Usually it's got a grate on it where you can see the guy behind it. But due to people spitting on people, throwing drinks on people, where I was at, they bricked over. You've bagged up a bunch of peanut butter. When the guy's not looking, when the guard's over there messing with them, the ladies in the office being lazy, sucking up the AC, and you're making these sandwiches, you got this bag right here, and you are tilting the tray. Or you're scooping and you're filling these bags up and you're tying them and you're putting them off to the side. These big bricks of peanut butter. You got 10 of them stashed. You got your guys out in the chow hall that are going to do your stealing, right? You keep eye contact with that man. When he comes in, you're back there doing your job. He walks in, you see him, he sees you, you nod, he nods. Operation Steal the Peanut Butter is in full effect. You're going to keep eye contact with this man from time to time. That man working in the back, where that tray window is, he gets a cut. Things are taken back there and given to him, and he knows who to give it to. He knows who's going to show up for it. You and him have already talked about this prior to this. You keep eye contact with your guys sitting out in the chow hall. If you got a lot of stuff needs to be moved, and you got stuff going to different buildings, which is usually what guys do, they space it out. You've got several guys you're going to be looking for to come in that day. You wait till you see your opportunity. A lot of these guards are just there to get a paycheck. They're not trying to pat nobody down. They don't care nothing about that. Some of them do. That's another video. When you see your opportunity and you notice this guard ain't paying no attention, you look at your guy, do the signs, whatever, do your ump calls. He makes his way over to the window, slides the tray in, and about that time, boom, the bomb comes out. He puts it in his jacket. Somebody usually makes a distraction, makes some noise, does something they're not supposed to, talks to the guard, and he slides by them and gets back to the building. Now he's got this big brick of peanut butter. You're going to break him off some for doing it. When you come back, you're going to tell the guys, bring me a peanut butter jar. They bring that jar and you fill that jar up. Boom. Give me $1. They give you a honey bun and a stamp. You ain't giving me 2 stamps. That don't add up to $1. Give me a honey bun and a stamp. That actually goes above $1. Gotcha. And now you're hustling peanut butters. I seen a whole entire fight break out behind peanut butter. You ever fought somebody behind peanut butter? I know it sounds stupid. On the day in question, we had been bagging up, me included, bagging up our peanut butter to get it back to the building so we could sell it to other guys. This one dude had his stuff all stashed in one spot. There's another guy working at the other end of the line where the trays are put together. There's one guy that puts a napkin in the cup and a spork on the tray. This guy adds his portion of food. This guy adds his portion. This guy adds his portion. He had not stolen nothing. The guy all the way down at the end had all this peanut butter stolen. When this dude's not looking, that guy goes in his stash spot, grabs some of the peanut butter, has one of his homeboys goes through and slides down over to the window and passes it out to him, thinking nobody would see it. As this guy's passing out, the first guy now is passing out his bags of peanut butter, he realizes, man, I'm like 2 bricks short on this peanut butter. Where's my peanut butter? The guy in the tray window at the tray room tells him, hey, old boy right there passed out 2 packages. Usually you didn't go pass it out because you didn't want to take the risk. You let the tray guy do it. But this guy didn't use the tray guy. He reached right by him, excuse me, homeboy, and passed 2 things out the window real quick. That was stolen by that man. So you stole his stolen peanut butter and sent it back to the pod. No sooner they got back to the pod, he went to do a sale. Good looking on having that brought back for me. Where's them 2 big bags of peanut butter you had stolen? I ain't steal no peanut butter. You went to the tray window and passed out 2 big bags. We all bagged up together. I watched you. You ain't bagged nothing up. Where them 2 big bags of peanut butter you had come from? Because I'm missing 2. You came up on 2. You need to get whoever you had, bring them back. Bring that back to me. Man, I ain't, boom, 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 boom. Got beat up over some peanut butter. The chow hall hustle, making money as long as penitentiary's been around, and it's going to continue to make money. Guys can make phenomenal money selling what the state already gives you. I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler. Stupid. I had to readjust the truck. I just did 2 whole scenes. I can't even put in the video. The rain was so loud you couldn't even hear me speak. The next guy on this list is Mr. Fixit, the tinkerer. If you know how to fix things, you're gonna make good money in prison. If you know basic electronics, basic tool making, like how to take a pair of fingernail clippers and sharpen the corner of that fingernail clipper down and now turn it into a screwdriver so you can take the screws out of a radio or out the back of a CD player. For the states that have televisions, you can take a television apart. If you're that guy that knows how to work on things, you are going to make good money. The things you buy from property, CD players, televisions, the Relco beard shavers, they used to sell tape players, the CD decks, the JP5s and JP4s. There's a lot of different electronics. Universal adapters that we used to use for tattooing that you could turn from 1.5 volts all the way up to 12. That was a big ass lightning bolt I just seen. These things are expensive. You usually have your people in the outside world send you a chunk of change when you first get locked up that you're gonna buy all these things with. If one of these things break, what are you gonna do? You're screwed. What are you gonna do? You don't have $215 to get another TV. Mama, my TV blew up. I need a new TV. I know what to tell you. You know what we had to do to get that money together? We ain't got it. In comes Mr. Fixit. Where I was at for the longest time, we had a guy named Randy Chappelle. Let me break down what Randy looked like. Randy was like just a big, sloppy, honey bun eating, Snicker eating, blood type diabetic, Kool-Aid drinking, crack smoking, Fixit guy. Loved to smoke on the rocks. You have something that's broken, he would take 2 pencils, a 12-volt adapter, skin the wires, Put a pencil on one side of the wire, a pencil on the other. You touch it together, it glows red. You can solder with that. Probably think I'm lying. Swear to God, you can take a 12-volt adapter and 2 pencils and solder. He knew a lot about electronics. Your TV blows up, you take it to Randy. Now you don't have to spend $250, but Randy's going to charge you $20 to fix your TV. Randy comes across TVs that are no longer any good. He goes inside of them, pulls out all the good parts. So he's got a cracker box or an oatmeal box full of parts, extra parts, components, things you might need for your TV. Take him the money, take him your electronic, Randy fixes it. With every hustle, there's an upside to it and there's a downside to it. I saw Randy get beat up one day, and here we come with the dope fiend larceny that a lot of inmates have. Dude takes Randy a TV, tells Randy. I dealt with Randy a lot. I was the maintenance man. Randy needed certain things only I could get. Black tape, hot glue, flux for when he soldered, little things he needed here and there I could get my hands on. So I deal with Randy. He would buy things from me. Dude takes Randy a TV one day and tells him when I plug my headphones in, I'm getting static in my headphones. Can you fix it? It's annoying. Sometimes the headphones don't work. The TV works perfect. I'm just getting this weird noise in my headphones. Randy tells the man, I've got a bunch of other TVs, CD players, things I got to work on. I'll take care of it. The man brings the money to Randy. You're going to pay. You don't pay me afterwards. You pay me up front, because if I fix it, then you decide you don't want to pay, I've got to fight you. I didn't get paid. My services weren't paid for. It's a lose-lose. You always make people pay up front. Rule number 1 when it comes to doing business in prison. A couple of days goes by and I see Randy come out of his cell and he's got this TV inside of a commissary bag with a bunch of clothes around it. It's a 13-inch flat screen made by Amped, or KTV were the 2 brands we had. I see him, he comes down the staircase, he goes over to the dude's cell, hands the dude the bag. Him and the dude get to arguing loudly. Everybody hears it, we see it. I think a fight is about to transpire right there. Randy's a big dude. Now there's a difference between being big and being big. Randy was big fat dude, not the type of dude that should be fighting anybody. Type of dude that after about 8 seconds, he was probably gonna throw up on himself, fall over, and pass out from lack of oxygen. But they didn't get to fighting there. Randy gave him the bag back, they exchanged words, and Randy went on back to his cell to fix something for the next man. I see this dude come out of his cell, little gang dude, goes and gets 2 of his homeboys, and they run up in Randy's cell. And as soon as they go to the door, it's not like they went up there to talk. They snuck down the tier. We watched them. They got to the door. They looked, made sure the guard wasn't looking, and they ran up in Randy's cell, and they beat Randy up. Trashed him up in that cell. I see one of the dudes come out of the cell, and he's got a TV under his arm, tucked down by his side. They slide down the tier, slide back into the cell. I definitely just seen Randy take that TV down to that man. So that TV they just left with wasn't theirs. They just took Randy's TV. Then it comes out, because these dudes start bragging. Nobody keeps anything to themselves, especially when they're crud balls like these little dirtbags were. They took Randy a TV that was blown up, a TV that they knocked off the countertop in their horse playing around. It blew the TV. There was no fixing it. This was beyond gone. Like the LED or LCD, whatever you want to call the screen, was done for. You couldn't see it, but it had broke a component to where now the screen wouldn't come on. They lied and told the man the only thing wrong with it was the headphone jack. Randy plugs the TV in, can't even get the TV to come on. He opens the TV up, gets to looking, can tell that other people have attempted, they've already taken it to other people and attempted to have it fixed, but they figured they could get Randy. Randy takes the TV back to him and tells him, man, this TV don't even work. Man, my TV did work. When I brought it to you, the only thing was wrong was a headphone. You done broke my TV. Man, I ain't broke your TV. Y'all hear that thunder? That's crazy. You broke my TV. Man, I didn't break your TV. You said the headphone jack was messed up. This TV's been broken somehow. Like, it's not coming on. I'm not responsible for it. In fixing things, you are ultimately responsible if you damage something further than what it was when you were brought to it, when they brought it to you. I used to tell dudes, there's no guarantee I can fix this. And if something gets messed up along the way, we need to understand right now, I'm not responsible. I made that disclosure after watching Randy's situation. They ran game on him. They beat that man up, took his TV, took him a broken TV, acted like he broke it, beat him up, took his TV. Outside of that, fixing electronics is a very big business. You will constantly have work. You will constantly make money. But it is prison, it is jail. Someone's always going to try to get over on you. With every single hustle, and I've told y'all this before and I'll say it again, there's the good side to it, and then there's always the bad side to it. Because as we know, it always ends bad. This next one, man, it leads into a funny story. I mean, I guess it's not funny looking back on it. No, I don't care. That shit was funny. You're not even going to believe what the next hustle is. Candy. They sell candy on the commissary. All types of candy, from chocolate, root beer barrels, butterscotch, assorted candies, Now-a-laters, Jolly Ranchers. There are so many different candies that you can purchase on commissary. But guys are always looking for a way to take something that's already there and put your spin on it. That's all an invention is. Usually it's something that was already in place and you put your spin on it, and now you can make money out of it. Guys would make candy. You would order a box of Q-tips. You know, Q-tips, you clean your ears with, make sure your ears ain't dirty, and you pull the cotton off the end of it. So it's just a stick. That now is a sucker stick. You would take these Jolly Ranchers, put them in a little medicine cup you get from the pill window, and you would melt these things down until it's almost a liquid. Be very, very careful. Getting that stuff on your skin is all bad. It will peel layers of meat off. If it sticks to your skin, when you go to wipe it, all you're going to see is white, and it's you've now got a very bad burn from a Jolly Rancher. They would take this stuff, and then they would take and put Now-a-laters on the inside of it. Peanut chews. Make all these different type of candies. I've watched dudes make some amazing, amazing candy in prison. So you buy a couple bags of candy, $1.19, $1.29, $1.09, and you get all this assorted candy in this bag. Then they'll sit there with different bowls and separate the candies. Now they're making different flavors. Sometimes they'll sprinkle sugar or they'll sprinkle Kool-Aid on it to make different types of suckers. They'll twist them. They'll make shapes. Then we get our holiday packs each year, which is got different selections of candies, mocha, almond amaretta, different types of things you would add to coffee, and they would implement those into the candies. The candy game was huge. Guys would make peanut brittle. You name it, they made it. Somebody's always going to try to outdo the last man. You've got to think outside the box. All right, he's got candy for sale. He's got candy for sale. What can I do? What candy can I invent that these guys ain't already made? So you've taken $5 in candy that you bought from the canteen, or somebody owes you $5. Hey, pay me with candy. Here's a list. Give me these bags of candy. You've now sat down, used your creativity, and you've created these different suckers, these different lollipops. I had seen big round ones. I had seen like blow pops. You name it, I've seen it. We got this boy that starts making candy, and a boy being a gay guy, and nobody wanted to buy any candy from him. Dudes, man, I don't know what you be doing with your hands. You dirty, man. Your nose is always running. I know you got that shit. Don't nobody want to buy no candy from you. But hands down, when you seen the candy that everybody else made compared to the candy that he made the best candy. I'm not a sweets person. I'm not big on sweets, so I'm not eating all types of candy in prison, right? This dude started killing the game. Other dudes are feeling some type of way now because they're on the yard or they're in the pod. They're walking around with their candy for sale, and they're not selling it like they're supposed to because this dude's got the best candy and the greatest prices. He calls himself being creative one day, calls himself being funny. You can make molds. We would make molds out of many different things to where you could then take the candy, put it in there, pull it out, and it would be in the shape of a star, in the shape of a clover, and a circle, a square, whatever you want. He makes all these little penis-shaped candies one day and is out there on the yard trying to sell them. Now, you don't approach nobody that isn't into that type of stuff. You don't go up to a straight man and try to sell him a sucker that's in the shape of a little penis so that he can walk around sucking on this little penis-shaped sucker, you don't do that. That's going to get you punched in the face. Another dude out there approaches him. Hey, let me see what you're working with. You don't want none of this. Man, let me see what you got. I said you don't want none of this. He's taking it as if the boy don't want to sell him no candy. What you got, man? Let me see what you got. And the boy shows him, pulls it out and shows him. Dude's like, oh, man, you tripping. Get on out of here with that gay shit, man. You foul for walking around even trying to sell those. Ain't nobody tell you to come over here and bother me. I ain't offer to sell you nothing. Now they're having words because this dude's got a bunch of little PP-shaped suckers. One thing leads to another. You got to watch it. One thing you don't ever want to happen is you don't want to get beat up by the boy. If you get beat up by the boy, A, you just lost the fight. But number two, you just lost the fight to a gay guy. If you get beat up by him, dudes are going to rag you. They automatically assume that because somebody's gay, they can't fight. When I'm here to tell you, I've seen some gay dudes that can thump with the best of them. Don't get their sexual preference messed up like you automatically can beat him up because he's gay. I've seen some gay dudes lose that feminine side and get to putting hands on people real quick and leave them with the whole entire eye lumped up and swollen in 3 different, sections. Leave the gay guy alone. He gets to having words because the dude feels the type of way that everybody's laughing because he done pulled out his penis suckers. The gay guy tells him, you gonna stop running your mouth to me, don't disrespect me out here in front of everybody. I'll beat you, I wish I would let a gay guy beat me. And before he could get a couple words out of his mouth to try to make himself look tough in front of everybody and go at the sucker guy, at the candy guy, the guy that's out there selling these little weird-shaped suckers, the boy done dug all up in his mouth, standing right there on the concrete. Boom, 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 boom. Beat him all upside the wall, then dropped his little suckers all on the ground. When it was over, old boy was laying there. He picked his suckers up. We used to wear these orange beanies, put them back inside the beanies, and walked off. Bad day to be the guy in the yard looking to buy some candy, to run across a guy that's selling something that's shaped like, and then get beat up by the guy. A lot goes into the sucker making process, the candy process, from getting saran wrap from a guy that works in a chow hall that you have to wrap these things in, to peeling all the fuzz off the Q-tip sticks, to getting the time to be in and out the microwave like that. They would usually do it early in the morning or late at night because the act of melting little container after container after container after container of candy takes a while. So you're holding the microwave up. So a lot goes into it. But like I said, somebody's always going to try to outdo the next man. And this dude made all these little PP-shaped candies. There was all these different boys walking around. Oh my God, why me? There was all these different boys, grown men that identified as females, acted like females, walking around the prison, sucking on these little funny shaped candies. But outside of doing weird stuff like that, you can get some bags of candy. I just had to share that with y'all. I hadn't even thought of that in a long time. Outside of doing weird stuff like what this dude did, he was out there to sell them suckers to other boys. He wasn't looking to sell them suckers to regular guys. That dude should have never even pushed up on him, but he did. Outside of all that, the candy trade is a big trade. Now, you got to remember what most of the things I'm talking about, when I say making money, it means commissary. Guys are going to pay you with commissary, things you wouldn't usually have. You're going to get soups, chips, sodas. That is currency in prison. At one point, it was tobacco. Then they took tobacco out, and food and hygiene became the main currency. Once you get enough of that stuff built up, you can turn it into real money. How do you do that? You give deals. You've got $200 worth of commissary. You want to turn it into actual money. You get ready to go home soon. You approach that guy. Hey, I've got $200 in food. You send me $100 to my books. Have your mama send me a money order for $100. I'm going to give you that whole $200. You keep doing that, flipping it, and building that commissary up and cutting deals with guys on commissary and getting them $100 money orders sent in until eventually you've got plenty of money on your books and you can go home and actually use that money to start the life you should have always lived. Prison is full of men that made bad decisions, men that did bad things. But there's also a lot of very, very talented men inside of prison. There are guys that could have gone on to be athletes that should be on ESPN. There are guys that I've seen play musical instruments that you could put on any stage in front of any crowd that were great, from the violin to guitars. Then I've seen artists. And when I mean artists, I mean true artists inside the prison systems. I've seen guys that had photographic memories that you could tell you wanted something drawn, and they could draw it down to the T, to the very last detail, and have only seen this item one time in their life. Arts and crafts, drawing is a big, big thing in prison. I've met tattoo artists. I can draw. I started drawing at a young age. It was something I did to escape the physical abuse that I suffered from, my father. So on my spare time in school, whenever I wasn't at home, I would draw. It would take my mind off of my life. Moving forward in life, I got good at drawing. I went from drawing to tattooing. There are a lot of tattoo artists that cannot draw. They'll tell you, I can't draw a stick figure. But you get somebody to draw it, have them go ahead and shade it. You bring me the pattern, I can put it on your skin, and I can duplicate it. As long as it's shaded on that piece of paper, I can run a gun and I can shade it just like that paper. I've seen that time and time again. The tattoo artist that can tattoo his ass off, he just can't draw. So if you're a guy that can draw, drawing is a big thing. From making handkerchiefs, you take a sheet and you cut a square out, 24 by 24 inches, 12 by 12. You order you some markers, some color pencils, different pens, and you sit down and these dudes will design some of the most beautiful handkerchiefs. Whether it be Valentine's Day, Christmas, birthdays, holidays were a big selling point if you were an artist. Guys want to do something special for they boo-boo out there in the street. Show her they care. They can't be there to do what they're supposed to do with her. They ain't there to pay no bills. They can't help with them kids, but they want to go the extra mile to show her that they care on Valentine's Day. If you're the guy that draws, these are the holidays that are going to bring you the most money. You're going to get these big, the envelopes, the big manila envelopes. You get a whole bunch of those. You can order them from Canteen. You can get other guys to order them. Guys get them with their legal work, and you cut it down to the size, to the size of a card. Guys will airbrush. They will take a marker, put water in it, and blow through it, airbrush cards. They take these ink pens and different color pencils, and they make beautiful cards. They do the same with the handkerchiefs. You know what? Actually, I can do y'all one better. I was digging through some of my stuff the other day, and I came across some of my old patterns, some of my old cards that I had sent my son over the years. I had sent family members over the years. I've still got those. And I guess this is one of the first times that I'm going to show y'all some of the stuff that came up out the prison. This was a Halloween card to my son, Isaiah. Made in prison, made out of a manila envelope, laminated. Easter card. Like I was telling y'all, remember the manila envelopes? Birthday card. Who don't love Mickey Mouse? Such a failure in life when this is what my life has come to. Instead of being home for my son and actually experiencing these type of things, I'm sending him home happy birthday number 7 cards. He wasn't liking football at the time. He felt like he was too small. So I sent him this one home. Then just random cards because, hey, I'm locked up and I'm a great dad who has failed at being a dad. So I'm trying to make up for it by doing little things to still be a dad. Who don't love SpongeBob? Prison cards, man. It's crazy when you look back on it. A lot of these things brought back a lot of memories, but it just goes to show you, like, there's a lot of artists. There's a lot of good artists, and these are just, some of the cards that I had made over the years that I'd sent home to my son. This is big money. You're talking a card like this with the airbrushing and the shading and all the little details in it. This is a $5 card. This guy made 2 bags of coffee off of this. A card like this, SpongeBob, basic design, It's a $3 card. Now, when you get into the basic just manila envelopes or manila folders that are cut in half, also airbrushed, $2.50, $2 card. It's a big, big thing. A lot of tattoo artists, like I said, cannot draw. So you got a guy that can draw. He plays a part in the tattoo trade. If you're an artist and you can draw, you get next to a tattoo artist that can't draw, you draw all his patterns, and you're going to get paid. He has no way of making money if he doesn't have the art to put on somebody's skin. These were actually patterns of mine that were put on my skin, from the pumpkin to the demonic face, the filler squirrels. This is actually on my chest. It's two faces, the man with no face, who has two different masks. These were put on my skin and then shaded. Just some of what's on my body. It goes to show you, to the man that can draw, to the man that can get his hands on some blank paper, some pencils, some permanent markers, some water-based markers, you will never go hungry. You are a guy that will forever be needed inside the system. Guys want to show their appreciation. I know guys that had sugar mamas on the streets, older women that would send them money, come visit them. They had nothing to offer these women. So every now and then they would go to the guy and, hey, man, I need you to make a card for me so I can show old girl my signs of appreciation. And boom, she gets SpongeBob in the mail. Not really. They usually get flowers or something more along that line. But art is a big seller. If you know how to draw, put that pencil to work. Guys are going to see you out there at that table. You don't have to advertise anything. Guys are nosy. They're always looking to see what's going on. There you sit at the table drawing. Somebody's going to walk up, look over your shoulder at what you're doing. Hey, man, you can draw. Yeah, no shit. Can you draw something for me? You make sure right from the gate you charge. Do not start drawing stuff for free. Because when you go to charge the next man, oh, you think I'm a sucker? You drew it for him for free. How you going to try to charge me, but you gave it to him? No, you charge from the gate. Get a baseline on what you're going to charge and charge it. It is what it is. Everybody's got to eat. Everything in prison is a hustle. You better be careful because, like I told you, everything's got a price tag. Maybe even you. So this was 5 of those 10. Tomorrow I will drop the other 5. As you can see, these videos go and go and go. This could be an hour video. This, after editing, this will probably be about 45 minutes. Right now I'm about an hour and a half. Got a lot to edit out. There's a lot of hustles in prison. I know guys that went to prison that did not know how to hustle and came out hustlers. If you ain't gonna learn to hustle anywhere, prison is the place that's gonna teach you how to get money. This was 5 of the 10 ways to make money while locked up. Crazy when you look at it. Crazy, crazy, crazy. I had to make a list. There's so many other hustles that I literally wrote down a list of just 20 and picked 10 of the not so obvious off of that list. I hope y'all enjoyed today's video on how to make money while locked up. Even more than that, I hope that you don't find yourself locked up. You might say, I don't make enough money at my job. Go get locked up and tell me how much money you make. Put yourself in a position to where you got guys trying to sell you little PP suckers or trying to swindle you out of your TV and trick you while you're fixing their stuff. There's always the good and the bad that comes with this. But if you can get in, if you do find yourself locked up, let me say, not if you get in there. If you find yourself locked up and you've got to depend on your people for everything, there's either one or two things going on. You're scared to death to get involved in something that could potentially get you in trouble, because everything I mentioned today, in one way or another, can get you in trouble while you're locked up. Or you just ain't got no hustle in you. Me, I was always a hustler. Don't matter what's going on. You could drop me off in the middle of the ocean and I'm going to sell salt water to the fish. I've just got it in me. Some guys do, some guys don't. You see it in my everyday life. I brought that same mentality out of prison and applied it to the real world. I took trades and other things in there so that I could get out and make a life for myself. I did good for myself. Not to say that anything good came from being in prison other than finding out who I was and the schooling that, I went and got. That's pretty much what good came from prison. But while in there, I did hustle. I did take care of myself. I had a million different hustles that I haven't even gotten into. We could do so many on this. There are so many different ways to make money while incarcerated that it would blow your mind. But this was just 5 of those things. Hope y'all are having a great day. I'm loving the time with the family. Tomorrow we're going to do some family events. We've been doing a lot here lately. It was raining last night, just like it is today. I set the bouncy house up in the garage the night before last, put air mattresses up, and we pretty much just, it was like jumpology. The kids were flipping, tumbling, had a great time. Makes me happy. And things like that make me smile. I am enjoying my time off, and I'm making the best of my life. And I hope that you are doing the same. But anyways, these jails, detentions, these prisons, these facilities, they're all just crazier worlds inside of an already crazy world we live in. And as always, y'all know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to keep y'all entertained. Are you not entertained? And like always, this is Jay Williams. Let's live life. And to all my real ones, and there are some real ones watching, because y'all still watching me. Man, y'all know how we do. Salute. It is early morning. Look, still got my coffee. Let's get my day started. I love y'all. Peace.